I think that's very important to understand about Bo is that he has the ability to adapt to circumstances and to adapt to the changing in the law and the changing of people's attitudes, which our society introduces every day. And the first few occasions I met Bo, our discussions was about cases, case files, case programs, computers, how we could integrate the use of computers in the practice of law. And that was a new thing. In fact, I can remember having discussions with Bo about how we could present cases through PowerPoint. And PowerPoint was something very new. There was no computers in the courtroom. And Bo had that vision. And that's what's good about Bo, is he can take the knowledge and experience that he has and approach it with vision as to what the future might dictate in order to be a successful prosecutor or a successful attorney, and more importantly, a successful administrator within the criminal justice system. Well, Bo is his own person. Bo's approach to facts and circumstances in the law and cases are much different than any of his predecessors, because he's got the ability to factor into that the changing landscape with which prosecutors are now faced. And he's done an admirable job of that. You can simply look at the changes within the structure of the DA's office since he took over. It's much more, quote, modern, if you will. It's a refreshing approach that is necessary in order to present cases and more importantly, in order to operate an office as diverse as the 16th Judicial District is. Bo has said many times, which I find very impressive to me, is he understands the differences between the three parishes which comprise our district. Indeed, he analogizes it to having three children. And all three children you love. All three children, however, have different views, have different ways of doing things. And he's able to function as a district attorney in all three parishes by factoring in all of those changes. I've had the distinct honor of working with Bo with victims. And one has to understand that if you don't have compassion for victims, if you strip away a victim's integrity and their dignity, then you've lost everything, irrespective of what the outcome of the case will be. So when Bo approaches a case, when Bo has to make a decision on a case, the primary focus is protecting the rights, the dignity, and the welfare of victims. Without that, you cannot be a successful prosecutor. There is no two cases that an attorney handles that is ever the same. There are never two prosecutors who are ever the same. I've had the honor of practicing law with, against, and under 4 different district attorneys. Every one of them had their own way of doing business. Every one of them had their own manner of approaching issues and problems. Bo is his own person. Bo brings a uniqueness to the office of district attorney that fits his personality. And by having that approach that fits his personality, he expects people to do things that's going to comport with his philosophy. And I think you've seen that throughout the 16th Judicial District under Bo's leadership. And more importantly, Bo gives all of his assistants, all of his employees, all of his personnel the discretion to make their own decision, not the decision he necessarily mandates as Bo Dewey, but decisions that the individual prosecutor or individual staff member feels comports with the situation with which that person is confronted. So there's no monolithic approach to any case. That is an absolute ridiculous statement to make. You cannot be monolithic and be a successful prosecutor. And the success of the 16th JDA in this district speaks for itself. Bo will approach and has always approached every situation, every case, every potential case based upon all of the circumstances. And those circumstances include the facts of the case. They include the circumstances with which an offense may have been committed, and he puts all that together and simulates it in a very professional, manner without regard to any outside influences. His objective is to make sure that at the end of the day, after he has evaluated a case, the fair, reasonable, just result will be forthcoming. And that necessarily means that he sees no color. He sees no other outside factor which might ordinarily have an influence on someone's decision. Everybody believes that all a DA does is put people in jail. There can be nothing further from the truth. The district attorney's office, particularly under Bo's administration and under Bo's leadership, has a lot of programs, early intervention programs, children who are in need of family services. That's all part of what a DA does. More importantly, by law, a district attorney has to represent all public agencies and local political subdivisions within his judicial district. And Bo has done that in a very capable, competent manner, to the extent where his representation of police juries, parish governments, and school boards have been completely exemplary. And I think you need only speak to those elected officials in those offices that Bo represents. Well, I mean, Bo is the district attorney for the citizens of the 16th Judicial District. He represents all people with diligence, fairness, openness, and honesty.